Hi, I'm Vince, and I wanted to talk about two books I recently read: *The Stranger* by Albert Camus and *Sputnik, Sweetheart* by Haruki Murakami. This first one, *The Stranger*, follows Marcel, a French-Algerian man, and I think it takes place in the 1930s. I'm not entirely sure, but that's around the time that Camus wrote it. It's kind of, I think it's supposed to be kind of like a commentary on like the existentialness of like facing death and like the absurdity of kind of like the justice system or society or whatever. I'm not sure that I quite fully got it, because the plot basically follows Marcel. His mom's died. He's kind of he comes across as like an apathetic dude. He gets involved with a neighbor, and that leads to a murder and then like a trial. And I kind of like, I'm not sure that I fully got this book, because at the end of it, I kind of just feel like Marcel kind of just gets what he deserves. I did enjoy it. Although I found the writing to be dry, I kind of like I felt like it was kind of an intentional thing. This is the first book by Camus that I've read, so I'm not entirely familiar with Camus' writing style other than this, but the dryness of the writing kind of came across as like a representation of how Marcel's kind of an apathetic, kind of like whatever, life just kind of happens kind of dude. But yeah, I would recommend reading it. It's pretty short. It's kind of a fun little read. I would give it about like 3.5 stars out of 5. I might reread it. I'm definitely gonna read some of Camus' other books, but not really sure if I got it the first time around with *The Stranger*. But yeah, the second one that I read, well, I actually listened to the audiobook version, *Sputnik, Sweetheart* by Murakami. It follows, it's narrated by a pretty much unnamed kind of character, but it's 3 Japanese people. The narrator, I guess, is referred to as K. It's very sparingly that he's referred to by any kind of name at all, but he kind of narrates this burgeoning relationship between this friend of his that he met in college, Sumire, and this woman she meets, this older woman, Mew. And it all culminates in Sumire disappearing. Sumire is kind of like a writer. She's an aspiring novelist, but she meets this woman, Mew, at a wedding, and she becomes enamored. She's kind of like apprehensive and kind of feeling like she might never be sexually or romantically interested in anyone, but she kind of has a spark happen with Mew, and she ends up working for Mew, and they end up traveling around Europe, because Mew runs like a wine importing business, and they end up in Greece, and Sumire ends up going missing, and then Kay kind of tries to help figure out what happens. I really enjoy Murakami's writing. It can be very kind of like melancholic, and I really liked his other book, Norwegian Wood. That's the only one I've finished. But the same problem I had with that book I have with this one. The ending is kind of just like left me feeling like kind of just like a little. It felt a little lackluster and kind of like what was that? Which is kind of the same issue I had with Norwegian Wood. I don't know if it's like a cultural difference kind of thing with the writing, or if this dude is just like not very good with endings. I did like this book, but I would also give it a 3 out of 5. It is very like, the way he writes makes me very interested in the characters. They're very, I find them to be interesting people. But yeah, it is kind of like a, okay, what was that kind of ending? But if you're fine with that kind of stuff and you're just more about like along for the ride and like getting to know these people, like I would recommend it. There is some spots, and this is kind of common with Murakami from what I hear from other people and from what I've read, where he kind of just like gets all horny for no reason. I mean, it kind of makes sense because Kei is like madly in love with Sumire, but it's unreciprocated. But like, there's it just, I don't know. Some of it feels like, okay, dude, was that necessary? But I feel like that's kind of realistic to people in real life. I mean, like, kind of might randomly get horny thoughts every now and then. But I would recommend both these books. They are sitting at a 3.5 star rating both with me. But I think Camus and Murakami are both great writers, and I would recommend checking these out. Thanks.